I just had a client text me. Have the two of us ever had such foul moods at the same time as we did this morning?
In a good way?
In a good way. Well, in a funny way.
That's kind of fun.
It literally was a back and forth of, this is what I'm telling you to do, and her saying, no, I don't want to do that, and me saying, you have to get down and do this right now. Like, I don't know what else to do. Do it right now.
This is what you're paying me for.
I have a question for you, Alex. Do you like,
Yeah.
I'm assuming I know the answer to this, but do you kind of have like one approach when it comes to like bossing your clients, or I say bossing your clients around, I know who you are, you're not a very bossy person, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you have like a very specific coaching approach where you're like, no, fucking do it? Or like, are you different based on the client? Like, you know, if they can deal with that kind of energy or not?
I'm definitely different based on the client. This particular client, I always say, I'm like, there is only one client who, when she says no, sometimes I know that it actually means no. Like everybody else, I'm like,
She's not going to go for
yeah,
it.
I'm like, everybody else, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can I'm pretty sure I can convince them. I just say, well, you are doing it, and they'll listen. This one specifically, like, I know when we hit a point where we're gridlocked, she's not doing it.
We're gridlocked.
I love her. I've had her since 2019.
That in a person, like.
Yeah, although usually that just means I have leverage later on in the session to say, I let you have that one, so you have to do this now.
Little negotiation tactic. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely the kind of person that could be bossed around in the gym. Like, I would complain and you would just be like, Allie, do it. And I would listen.
Yeah, there's different approaches. Like, I let people complain. I'm like, complain all you want. As long as you do it, I will listen to you bitch about it. That is totally fine with me. I also, like, I could be, like, especially when I taught classes, like the boxing classes, I can be the kind of trainer that just, like, yells at you in your face.
Yeah.
But that's generally not my approach. And generally the clients I train don't want that. I mean, there's definitely a client for that and a trainer for that. It's not really my approach or the way my clients want it done.
That's fair.
A question, unrelated, but Allie, is your mic for sure on?
Yeah. Should I be talking closer? Can you hear it?
I can hear it.
Okay. No, just because like it's just interesting because obviously you guys have the same microphone, and me listening to Alex and listening to Allie, it doesn't sound like Allie's is on in comparison. But maybe
did that help? I turned it up a little bit.
Maybe that helps. Yeah, it was really quiet compared to Alex.
I also feel like I might have gotten excited.
Well, I've been really self-conscious. So I know you guys say that you don't really listen back to the podcast. I listen back to the podcast. I love listening to it. But I used to. To be fair, I edit a lot.
I started to.
I always have to have something in my ears when I'm editing. So it's like there's never enough podcasts under the sun that I can have for editing time. Anyways, I've been so self-conscious about how like my voice cracks and like how loud I am. Like I've got that like Midwestern mom accent heavy, and I've always been so concerned and self-conscious listening back to it. So I've been trying to be more conscious of my volume. But yeah, I'm happy that you can hear me now.
I also have a Midwestern accent, so
I probably do too.
We all kind of do, but
no, yeah. Alex, I feel like yours isn't as bad.
Isn't as bad. I think mine's tampered off.
I don't know. Maybe
because I'm still here.
I was gonna say my 10 years living in Seattle has softened it a little bit, but it's still so aggressive. But then whenever I'm with my mom, I'm reminded why I have that accent, because my mom is like so Michigan mom accent, and yeah, I love that for her. I love it.
Speaking of moms, I have a correction to make on, it was either the last pod, it was probably 2 pods ago, because our very last one hasn't been out yet. I got a text from my mom last week that said
she didn't drop off.
I didn't drop off from listening to you guys. I just got behind a little bit, but I'm caught up and I still listen.
That's so funny.
Speaking of trying to convince our loved ones to listen to the pod or just checking in on the status of that, I keep trying to entice Taylor. I was like, honey, we're on YouTube now. I threw us up on the TV. He's like, don't care. I showed him the clip. I showed him the clip where I was talking about him on social media. Didn't care. And I was like, how can I convince you to listen to this podcast? It's probably going to have to be through peer pressure via Zach or Eric that he listens to.
I was going to say Zach loves listening.
Yeah, it's going to have to be Zach, because
yeah.
Eric is like, I use your fitness app, which is a video of you. I live with you.
Yeah.
I hear you on every time I open up Instagram, TikTok, whatever, you're there. He's like, I don't need another version of you in my ears or in my face.
I know that's the exact reason my husband doesn't listen. Is like, you're yapping in my ear all fucking day, honey. I don't need more of it.
Zach like opened Instagram the other day and he was like, you guys are talking crap about me, because Whatever clip you posted was so we were talking about Zach doing something.
It was when he texted us about his coffee.
I know. I was like, it's nothing bad.
It's all out of love, Zach.
Yeah, we never do anything. We never say anything bad.
Like we said, Zach. We always talk about Zach as the MVP here. So
we
big
do.
Zach lovers on this pod. So our episode today is pretty fun. I'm excited about this one. So we are going to do a Would You Rather business edition. We didn't really level set around like the territory of where we're doing these Would You Rathers. We just basically told each other like, prep a couple for the group to react to, and are kind of all over the board. I'm excited. I feel like this is going to lead to some good conversation today. Anything else before we dive into our activity that you guys want to shout out on the pod today?
I feel like this might give us some perspective. Sometimes when you hear like a would you rather, it's like, okay, I'm happy where I'm at and not having to choose between those two things.
Right.
I'm curious to see what you guys came up with.
Mine are pretty extreme, but like I feel like that's kind of
fun.
I
don't think mine are.
I was trying to think of really negative, like bad ones, and I was struggling to think of bad ones.
See, I feel like mine's going to be like the most practical of them all.
I do have a bad one. I was going to say, I do have a bad one in there that I think I'm very interested because I think all three of us are going to have different answers to it. So I'm excited. I guess
let's get into it.
I guess we can't all three have different answers to a two question.
Right. Yeah. Two people have to agree.
Answer question. Yeah, that's not possible. Regardless, anybody feel passionate about starting?
Oh, Alex, you want to weigh?
Yep.
Your sound is gone.
Sorry,
okay,
I'm back.
She back.
I was going to say, let me start because if mine is the most practical, then we can just ease right into these.
Okay,
nice.
Cool. Love it.
Okay. My first one. Okay. Would you rather have... Okay, sorry. I'm trying to phrase it. So, okay, here's where my thought process was. I was trying to phrase it so that it would be relevant to both of your guys' businesses. But basically, would you rather your business go like super viral but have like 50-50 views? Or would you rather have like reviews? Oh my gosh, I'm not okay today. We talked about this before the pod, but maybe we talked about this on the pod. I don't know. I am on day 1 of my luteal phase and I'm not okay. I'm not functioning well today. So sorry if
Your
words.
what phase?
Luteal?
I don't know what that is. Is that like a star thing?
It's a part of your cycle.
No, it's like the week before your period. Things start going south.
No, that's a terrible week for me. So like I totally get it. I just have never heard the lingo.
Oh yeah.
As an aside, a lot of business owners actually like strategically plot out their work based on their cycle, which I think is really interesting. I just got my period back after having a baby, so I'm just getting used to it again, but I'm like, dude, the week of your period sucks as a business owner. I do not like it.
Yeah. Well, and it's like I almost feel like it's the week before that hits me the hardest. But it's funny you say that because I have finally a free day tomorrow where I can go to the gym that's farther away to film, which is usually a better spot to film. And I'm like, of course, I'm in my like bloating week before my period when I finally have time to go like film exercises where I don't really want to be feeling like that. But anyway, sorry for that. I don't know what came out of my mouth there, but let me try this again. Would you rather have your business go wildly successful with very mixed reviews, like 50-50 reviews, or would you rather have a really, really slow build with perfect reviews? Did that make sense?
Yes. I would pick...
Was that tame?
Yeah, I would pick... No, I like it. I would pick slow build with perfect reviews because of my perfectionism. So I don't know if that's like a good answer because I truly am like...
I think it's
one of the things I'm so terrified is just like I just don't cope well when I don't please the masses.
Yeah, I guess I'd pick the same with it worded that way. It's tough because I feel like as an author, I am bound to, that's just the nature of the game. Like, of course, my reviews and star ratings are going to go down as I become more popular. So if I did hit viral, like that would be the very realistic scenario is that it would be a mixed bag, but 50-50 is intense. Like I would not want like 51 star 55. Like that would be that would mean that I probably went viral with the very wrong audience or something.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So so it's like if it wasn't 50-50, I think I would pick that one, but given the 50-50, I would pick the slow growth with perfect reviews.
I wrote a couple of these down and that I had a similar because I think
I have a really similar one to that one too.
Yeah, the concept of like
then maybe I was on it.
Yeah, because I think it's an interesting concept of like virality versus like making everybody happy. I think is interesting.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm going to jump into mine because I feel like it's similar, but it's a little bit different because mine was Okay, would you rather have someone try to cancel you on TikTok or Instagram, like make a negative review about you, but everyone's on your side? You know, for the most, like 90% of people are on your side, or would you just rather not have that attention at all?
I think the first.
I wouldn't want the attention.
I wouldn't want the attention either, because that kind of happened to me, or I had like a little bit of a discourse on TikTok, and I like immediately deleted the video and started panicking
That's
when
what I
it
would
like
do.
went off, because I hate being involved in like conflict and drama.
You
Yeah,
know, I
like-
guess that's true. I think my immediate ego was fed by everybody thinking I'm right. That was my like gut reaction to that.
I mean, it's not
I mean, no,
like,
that's true. It would be.
yeah.
But I don't like the attention either. But if it made me more successful,
I
That's the
get
thing.
in,
It would probably.
Yeah, I think like I get into these places where like if something is going viral, it takes up too much of my headspace. Like I hate the feeling of when I have a video taking off and I'm constantly checking my phone just to make sure that like no bad comments are rolling in, and like just
Mm-hmm.
I guess the theme of today's episode is that I have a very deep problem with perfectionism. But like, yeah, it's so stressful when something is picking up like that I really do feel like even if 90% of people were on my side, just the controversy and the attention in general would have me in a tizzy. And I just know myself that I wouldn't. That was also one of the ones I put down. Was like,
Wait, really? That's so funny.
The way I worded it though was, would you rather get canceled on social media or get one bad review a month for an entire year?
Well, I mean, definitely the second one.
Definitely. Well, for you, Allison, I think.
I know for Allison it's easy because not easy, but
Yeah.
there's a lot bigger of a pool, and
knock
it's not
on
like
wood.
a direct face to
Well,
face.
yeah, and if
I
I got
still
canceled
have-
on social media, that would give me way more than one negative review a month, probably.
That's true. So my conundrum there is like I'm still on like all 5-star reviews. Everybody's spoken very positively about it, at least publicly, right? Like it's not to say I haven't had conflicts with clients, but like at least outwardly, I'm like, and one bad review a month, like I only have like 20 some reviews right now as it is. So I'm like, one bad review a month for a year could really do some damage. I don't know. So
I'm sure I already get one bad review. I probably get more than one bad review a month currently. Like I don't look, so I don't know, but
yeah, it's kind
yeah,
of
I don't know. I guess that's tough. I feel like I'm talking a big game here with, oh yeah, I'd rather do that. But I think I would second guess myself for the rest of my life if something like that happened, like cancellation
Getting
type,
canceled?
or like, yeah, or going viral with a ton of bad reviews.
But on the flip side, going through it, you might realize that it's not as scary as. And I'm not talking
That's
like,
fair.
you know, I know you guys, you're good people. I'm not talking about getting canceled for something
good
like
people. Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like, what would we get canceled for? That's also like, I don't want to do anything.
I was like,
that
quote
I would
unquote
get canceled
but I'm like, yeah, I was like, I know you guys, you're not going to get canceled for something horrible, like that kind of thing. So
let's say it's a lie. Maybe it's a lie. Yeah, you get canceled but that's also frustrating if you didn't actually do it. And then,
yeah, I don't know. But it is interesting that all of us brought up the whole like virality and like cancel.
Clearly it's something on our mind.
We're really scared of. Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna change topics here. Okay. This one should come as no surprise coming from me. But would you rather never have to deal with taxes or bookkeeping again for the rest of your life, or would you never have to worry about if your business was profitable? So essentially, you're always making enough money. You never have to worry about how much money you're bringing in.
Profitable.
This is also so similar to one that I did. We're on the same page.
Same brain.
Profitable, like we make $1, or profitable, like we could comfortably live off of it.
Comfortable.
Yeah,
you're comfortable. You don't. Yeah, it's you don't have to worry about your bills. You're good. You can invest.
And the first one was that we have to deal with taxes.
That we never
You
would
never
have
have
to.
to. You never have to. It's all taken care of. You never have to deal with bookkeeping. You never have to deal with your expenses. You literally don't have to touch it. It's taken care of. You don't have to worry about it.
2, the profitable one for sure.
Same. Yeah.
I think I might go with
the
the first
no,
one.
I don't know about that.
Straight up. I was like, to literally never have to worry. Because, okay, so here was my thing. And at first when I wrote this, I was like, obviously the second one, because who doesn't want guaranteed profitability in their business? And like, that's half the stress of being a business owner, is how fluctuating your income can be. But
it's like 80% of the stress.
For me, like that's a problem I don't mind solving for as a business owner. Like I can solve for, oh, I'm not making enough this month. I need to like introduce a new idea, or like hit the ground running on my marketing, or like something. It's a problem I don't like, or it's a problem I don't mind working towards solving. taxes and bookkeeping are like could not be more energetically draining for me, and just they frustrate me, they terrify me, they are just a part of being a business owner that I wish I could just cut out and not have to ever deal with. So for me, after thinking about it, I was like, I think I might take that one and
That's a fair point.
deal with it.
For
like, I can figure
me,
it out.
it's like, and I kind of, because I wrote a similar one too, which I think I already know Alex and I's answers to it. But for me, it's that like with finances and taxes, there's a finite amount of information that you would have to learn. You know what I mean? Like, yes, they suck, but like there's only so much you need to know about those things versus like profitability and stuff is going to change the nature of the economy and your business and stuff. That's something that's going to change. Like it's going to be different now and every year now for the rest of our lives. So
that's really
I think that's why I would pick that one. And then because mine was very similar. I put, would you rather have unlimited help with finances and taxes or unlimited help with marketing?
Finances and taxes for sure.
Marketing.
I would also pick marketing for the same reason, because like I feel like the information around finances and taxes is finite versus marketing is like ever changing.
You know, go ahead.
Like it's okay. I can do taxes. I hate them.
Yeah, same.
But I
hate
can
them.
do it. And it gives me a lot of anxiety, but I can do it.
I don't mean to be
marketing,
dramatic, but like, no.
That's what I would have predicted those answers before you guys said that.
Yeah, I really do need to change the way that I speak about marketing on this podcast, because I don't hate marketing as much as you two do, it seems. Yes, it frustrates me, and sales is a little bit tough for me sometimes, but it's not always like pulling teeth like bookkeeping and taxes is. I don't mind marketing or sales as much as I think you guys don't like it, if that makes sense.
I like marketing, actually. Like, I think it's fun making TikToks. I think it's fun showing up on social media. I don't mind any of the work. I get frustrated with the results, and I feel like I'm going crazy that I'm constantly trying new things, or something will work one month and then not work the next month. And it's just so like that part frustrates me. The actual work, I don't mind. I think it's kind of like fun, like to make social media stuff, and
it's like the strategy and the consistency, and just like, I mean, to the point you made earlier,
never knowing.
Yeah, the point you made earlier, it's a much more of an unknown box that you're working within, whereas you're right. I just think that insight about the fact of like there's a finite amount of information that you have to educate yourself around with bookkeeping and taxes, and then you're just done. You just know at that point. I think that's a really interesting insight, because I could see a world where, depending on the type of person you are, you're much more comfortable with that, even though the information can be complex or hard, or something you don't like. Whereas on the other side, I do feel like I have a bit of comfort with changing environments, as long as it's creative, right? Like, I feel like that's the thing with marketing, is it's like a creative space. And I'm not saying you guys aren't creative. I'm just saying, like, I think I am much more comfortable in that space just because of how I am.
Yeah, I'm fine with the creative aspect. It's like, and that's the thing with marketing. Like, if it worked for me all the time, like if I was constantly seeing success, I feel like this is great. I don't mind this at all. But it's like the frustration of the unknown. Like, if I maybe I'll feel differently down the line. But yeah, it's just I just want it to work. I just want it to always work,
that
which
is
not.
No, it's not a bad thing. You have that feeling of like, if I do X, it should equal Y.
Yes, yeah, I do feel like I have a little bit of that, which is not how marketing and things like that work. They're very much experimental, and you just never know, and some years are going to be better than other years. I want it to just work
a little bit more fluid. That totally makes sense. Interesting that we're all kind of in the same vein of these would you rathers. I didn't anticipate that today.
I know, Alex, do you have any?
Do you have another one, Alex?
What's your next one?
I was just looking to see if I could either make one of the ones I have different or come up with another one, because I do feel like we're all following along like the same lines. I guess I'll just ask this one. I feel like, well, no. Okay. Would you rather double your income with no time off, or keep the same income that you have right now and only work 3 days a week?
This is hard because I don't have any income right now. I'm just reinvesting everything.
I was going to say the opposite, where I was like, well, I don't take any days off as it is, so I might as well just keep doing
that's
that.
where I thought
taking days off either.
That's where I thought this one was going to be a little sticky.
I'm like, am I physically capable of only working 3 days a week? I don't know if that's true. Like I don't work all day every day, but I do I'm still on that conundrum of like, is this a bad thing or not? Because like I said, there are some days where I will only log in for an hour and answer emails, but I typically work every day. So I don't know.
Same. And yeah, and if you could tell me I could double my income or be more successful or reach more readers by doing basically the same amount of work that I'm doing now, like I definitely pick that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of where I thought
think maybe down the line, like if I have reached a new tier in my success, then maybe I would feel differently, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. Like I said, I think it's hard because I'm like, oh, I could just keep doing what I'm doing and double my income. That's great. But I do. It's kind of funny because as a mom, you're like, oh, maybe I should want to only work 3 days a week or something. I'm like, I don't know. I just really like what I do. I like the days where I can just log on during Stevie's nap and like answer a couple emails and get to, put out a post or two, something like that. And I like how fluid
maybe it should have been
being an
like
entrepreneur is.
10 hours a day or something.
Yeah,
12
I was
hours
gonna say,
a day
like, if
every
it was
day.
like when I think about overworking yourself, I think about my days in corporate where like those people, like I not me, but other people would stay at the office from like, 6 a.m. till like p.m. And I'm like, y'all are crazy. They're getting exactly 40 hours out of me, and that is it. I am not taking work home. But yeah, if it was something more like that where the work schedule was really demanding, I would take the other version. Money doesn't matter to me that much. I just want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a different position because I'm still like very much in like a growth phase right now. So I think even if it was like 10 hours a day, I think I'd probably still pick that one for not like at least for the time being.
Right. Yeah. I think that's fair.
Not a hard worker in that.
I like a lot of what I do. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I do get burnt out, but like when I'm in it, I'm not like, oh, this is like miserable that I'm working on this.
Right.
When you've got like a groove or something you're like working towards.
I get distracted really easily.
Same. I do think if mine wasn't like you have to work 10 hours client facing, I think I would choose that too. Like that gets to be
that counts, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I could see myself doing. But...
I mean, just as an introvert, that would be fucking hard. I feel like I have to recover a whole week after I do one 10-hour wedding day.
Yeah, I mean, that's like today is my toughest day this week anyway, but it was like a 5 a.m. start. It'll be a 7 p.m. stop, and I've got like 30 minutes to 45 minutes between each thing, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like today's a little draining. So I imagine trying to do this every day, and I would be like a shell.
Right. Like,
but if I could like mix it with some of the filming, the editing, that kind of stuff, then
totally.
I could do that.
More introvert
for double my income.
I love that.
I have one that's also kind of around a work schedule.
Mm.
It's like, okay, so would you rather only work 9 to 5? Like your working hours are 9 to 5, or would you rather maybe work a little bit less, but you're working like everything that you do like always falls into like evenings or a weekend day?
Just by way of how you phrased that, I think I would pick the 9 to 5, just because what I have found about myself, and maybe this is answering it in a different way. What I've found about myself is that I am shit in the afternoon, evening time. Like I lose all stamina. There's like after 2:00, I'm worthless. Like we tried to do that for a while when Taylor went back to work and Stevie wasn't in daycare yet. Like the whole schedule we had worked out was that Taylor would be working his 9 to 5 because he had to, right? And I'd be taking care of Stevie during that time. And then he would take care of her after in the evening, and I would work then. And it was shit. I could not get anything done. I don't do it. But on the flip side of that, I can be super productive from the hours of like 5 to, noon. Like I can really knock out a lot of work if I end up waking up that early, or like just, being able to work that way. So I guess if that was your question around like, are you working like a super consistent schedule, or is it like evenings versus that typical 9 to 5 schedule? I think I would pick the 9 to 5 schedule. Weekends don't bother me.
No,
though.
same.
I work
also
weekend.
I just think it's like interesting. I really struggle to work on, I think it's Allie, because you like have to show up and like go places on the weekend. So it's probably different than me trying to motivate myself while Zach's like doing something fun on the weekend and we're both at home. But yeah, no, it's interesting because I feel like even not working corporate, I still very much keep to like a 9 to 5 schedule. And it could just be because, you know, my partner also works a 9 to 5. So that's just what makes the most sense. But yeah, I was just curious because like I feel like you two, or like you more so, Allie, don't really work a 9 to 5. So, or like
Yeah,
that
I'm all over
schedule.
the
So I was
place.
curious.
Yeah, I don't mind the evenings because that's what I do. My problem would be
Mhm.
working weekends because
Yeah.
I've done such a good job at holding that boundary. That is like the only boundary I have is no clients on the weekends. So in that respect, because you said 9 to 5 and I literally immediately was like claustrophobia of like, oh, these are the
Yeah.
hours I have to work. But if I could guarantee myself open evenings and weekends for that, I probably would do that. I don't know. That's
That's
a
a hard
really hard
one.
one for me because I remember sophomore year of college already crying because I was like, I loved the schedule of college so much of
I
I
did
have a
too.
class and then I have a couple hours and I
Yep.
can walk in between
Yeah.
classes. And I was already thinking like there's no other life besides a desk job 9 to 5 and I'm not going to be able to get up and walk between meetings and have my own schedule. So like I feel like that's where my initial like bodily reaction went when you said
No,
9
for
to
sure.
5.
It is. No, I that was kind of my intention was
Yeah, so
that gut reaction.
in that respect, I feel like I would pick the evenings and weekends if that meant a little bit more fluidity. But
That's
working
one of the
weekends would be hard.
things. It's one of the things I love most about working for myself full time is that, and I didn't think I was gonna like this. Especially at first, I struggled with it too. Like that first year post quitting my job, I really struggled with feeling like almost my own judgment of myself and feeling productive. Like I felt like if I wasn't working 8 hours a day, clocking in for myself, that I wasn't being productive and I wasn't being a good business owner. But now, especially post baby, I could not be more fluid. Like I said, some days I am cranking out so much work between the hours of like 5 and 9 a.m. and I don't really get anything else done that day. Or other times it's like, oh, maybe I am doing kind of a typical 9 to 5 schedule. Other days I don't start work until 2. It's all over the place now. And I kind of love it. I love, especially
Yeah.
being in a city also. And this is kind of related to my job, but being in a really busy city, especially like a growth city like Seattle, it's just getting busier and busier to like do fun things like hiking or like going into the city and going to a restaurant or something. And then traffic is horrible. But with my fluid schedule, I feel like I get to just like weasel my way around it. I get to go hiking during the week, or like, I get to go to the
Yeah.
really popular spots in middle of the day on a Wednesday and nobody's there. So I feel like it's been a good life, just sort of being super all over the place with my schedule, even though the consistency is very difficult, which I think is hard for habits.
Yeah.
I will say I even feel like that in Lansing, which is not a big city, of like I like that I don't have to travel around rush hour times.
I
And
know.
again, rush hour is, I say that very loosely coming from Metro Detroit.
No, dude,
But
when living in Metro Detroit, there is some serious rush hour, even in the burbs. I remember like,
no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like Lansing is nothing compared to that. But I
Yeah.
still have now been like, sometimes I'll get a client at that rush hour time and I have to drive through it and I'm like, oh, I forgot what this is like.
It's icky.
I don't like
I'm
this.
I know, honestly, like that's been the biggest win of quitting my job. Is just like I never have to fucking deal with this rush hour shit ever again. Or by
Yeah.
accident. That happens.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, you guys straight up stole all my other ones. So
I know.
Oh,
I'm
no.
next
We
out
are
here.
very, yeah,
Oh,
like I
what?
had another viral one of like, would you rather go viral? I see, and I don't know what I meant by this of like viral for the wrong reason, as in like not related to your business or
Oh,
because
that's
of something bad.
thought.
I guess, okay, here we go. Let's do that because we talked about like the cancel one. Would you rather
Yeah.
go viral for something that's not related to your business, but your account goes viral? Or, well, no, that's dumb. It doesn't really work that way. It would have worked the other way I had it. Because I was going to say, or be stuck at the number of followers you have right now for the rest of time.
Oh,
But
well, I'd rather
That
go
is
viral
kind
for
of an
something
interesting
like
unrelated.
that was dumb. Because I was going to say,
sorry,
if,
which
if
one
you
would you have picked?
Well, because it was
Go
just like,
viral?
would you rather go viral for something unrelated to your business or stay the same? And I don't know. Currently, I have a video that's popping off that's unrelated to my business, and it's like, it's not like not hurting anything.
still brings
and
people
point.
in.
yeah,
Yeah.
I still could get like a few people
kind of a waste of
like
time
noticing.
sometimes,
Because also
but-
it'll put like if one of your videos goes, it kind of puts some of your other
You're
videos on
right.
people's pages. So
Like,
maybe we'll
there's
get like one
traffic.
person reading my book.
Yeah,
like
that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Yep.
the way I had it
like a
before,
low.
yeah, the way that I had it before was like for a controversial reason related to your business. Like would you rather go viral for something controversial in your business, or stay at the number of followers you have right now forever?
Kind of.
Maybe that was harder than I thought it was going to
Well,
be.
no, that's harder. Because mine was, that one's harder than the one I posed, because mine was like, oh, would you rather go viral but then it's like you just get no attention was the other side. But like, yeah, stay at the number of followers forever is tough. Like, because I just feel like I really feel the lack
That
of
would be
growth
so
in
frustrating.
that.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
if
would
I
be
was
really hard.
If I was getting steady inquiries during that whole time, I wouldn't care about my number of followers. But I don't know that.
Yeah,
that
that's
would be
true.
the case.
I know, yeah. If I had somehow found success with my books outside of social media completely, then maybe I would.
Yeah.
But like in the current state of things, that's really tough. Like, I don't know what I would pick.
And I mean, if we say controversial, it's not controversial doesn't necessarily mean cancelable. Like, it just could mean something that people have really strong opinions on. And you'd find out that half those people weren't your people. And
I know. I just really hate controversy.
I know.
I know.
But
half those people aren't your people. Just makes me.
I know. I do think I'd have to pick that. I do think I'd have to pick that one because, yeah, just staying the same, especially like in the current state, would be tough.
Brutal.
But yeah, that's a tough one.
Everybody, what do you mean? No, that's never what I would teach in like branding either. I always talk about how your brand should repel people, but then it's like putting my money where my mouth is so hard. I can't.
Well, just like a silent repel is nice.
Yeah,
I just don't need a
like
verbal repel.
subconscious repelling that you don't even know you're being repelled. You just don't like it. Okay, I have one kind of in the vein of what we've been talking about, but I do think I want to take us out of social media for a second. Would you rather become an overnight success, like go from 0 to 60 in your business? So like you're going from nothing to your product, your services are flying off the shelves. You are fully booked, fully sold. Or would you rather experience steady, consistent, reliable growth in your business?
That one.
Me too. But for Allison, I think she would do too.
I know. I kind of want to be the overnight success because I feel like I already
but it makes sense.
Experience somewhat steady growth. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I want the. And I do feel like with being an overnight success, or like at least as an author, I do think there is something to the fact that like if you do have that moment, you have to make sure you have other things in place, like you've put other things in place, like a good backlog, and you're like ready for that moment.
I think that's what I would be nervous about.
It is so easy to fade into oblivion, but I feel like I would be lying if I said that's not what I want. Definitely what I want.
I feel like
you put things out in a good enough pace to be able to back.
I think that
if you did,
there's a scalability conversation with that. I think that to your point, Allison, you are set up in a way where, you have 6 or 7 books out now. Like, I can't remember where you are. 6 books?
About to have 7. Well, I guess I have a novella, but yeah.
Like you have all these books out already. You have the ability to maybe your TikTok shop you would have to deal with like, okay, how do I
couldn't
but like
do that.
Selling through Amazon though, you have the ability to scale that fast. But for a service-based business, especially something like what I'm doing, I don't think being an overnight, I think being an overnight success in what I'm doing would come with a lot of challenges. Like it would come with tons of stress. It would also come with like me battling with my capacity. I think I have a hard time like saying no to things, and I run into these capacity walls a lot of the time when I'm booking too much, where I'm like, I've taken on too much work, more than I can handle. So I think for a service-based business, there's always that conversation too around like, are you built to scale? Or like, I do think in services, sometimes it's better to just have steady, reliable growth so that every year you're investing in things that help you scale better, or like, automations or help you have contract workers or something like that. But like a one-woman show service business to go overnight success, I think would be really hard.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
No, it's so fair.
Yeah. I viewed it more in terms of my
your app.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be able to do anything with my personal training. I mean, I could take on more people, but I would have a limit where, if I was an overnight success, my app could just take off.
And you didn't pick that? You didn't pick overnight success?
You didn't.
Well, I didn't at first because I was thinking about like the systems and stuff that would have to be put in place. Yeah. But if I did it app wise, that's what I would want.
Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah. Because I was like, there's nothing really for you to lose in an overnight success when it comes to that. Like,
I think the way I answered at first was more like an overnight like virality
Mm.
and being afraid of the product that I have currently and always feeling like it could be better and better, which I mean, you're
But
always going to
kind
feel
of
like
the
that, I
nature of the
think.
question
Yeah.
of like everything that you're doing right now, if like tomorrow it flipped a switch and all of a sudden like I'm booked out for years or whatever it is.
I mean, if people loved it, then yeah, sure, I would like to go viral.
Yeah.
Or
You're
not
just-
go viral.
Yeah.
Good feedback. But if you say it like overnight success, then that kind of implies that people are liking what you're putting out.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Yeah,
so
I
that's the one I would choose. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I think my initial reaction was just like viral and a fear that I'm not to where I would want to be for, tens of thousands of people to be.
I think it is a consideration.
But no, I mean, I still would want that right now.
Yeah,
Would be
same.
Talk
nice.
yourself into it. That's good. That's totally fair. Because I feel like I knew what Allison would say and I knew what I was going to say, but I wasn't, because Alex, you kind of do toe the line between different
like
formats
50-50.
like that, where like you have the
Well, not
service.
50-50 monetarily,
I have
but
to point out that we literally twisted Allie's question because she was like, let's get us away from social media. And the way she phrased it in no way
Had to do
said
with
social
virality.
media. And then me and Alex are both like, the virality of it all. Because like it's like we can't even think of another way that it would like blow up overnight other than like a viral social media post.
yeah.
I was like said, like I'm trying to get us out of it, but it's fine. I mean, that's the nature of how we do business these days. So
No, but the thing is, there probably are other ways. Like
there are.
a
We're just
newspaper
stuck
picking
in our
one. Like there
brain.
are other things that could happen theoretically.
Yeah, exactly. It is so funny. All of us ended up with the same fucking questions. I guess these have been bouncing around our brains, these scenarios, for a while.
I know, and I wanted to think of a good negative one, but I couldn't think of anything.
I think
like two
canceled
negatives
was my thing that I was thinking of.
Then it wasn't like I wanted to think of two bad things, like because I was like, oh, like for you guys, I was gonna say like deal with a really challenging like client or customer that's like awful, but you have to like deal with them for X amount of time. But then I couldn't think of like another side of that.
That's a pretty bad one though. Bad clients will really
would
make
you
you hate your job.
would you rather have like a client? Would you rather take on a client that where'd Allie go? She's still in there.
It shows her name, but she's gone.
No, Allie.
Allie,
should we just keep going? Well, we might as well still keep recording. She'll pop back in. But the one I was gonna think of is like, would you rather have a client that you had to take on and she was absolutely delightful, or they were absolutely delightful, but they can't pay you your full rate? Or would you rather have a client that you kind of hate, but they're paying you like triple your rate?
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just gave Alex
I heard the whole thing.
I heard
it.
We just kept it going. Oh, cool.
So wait, the question was,
I can't really answer this one, or I can't think of how it would relate to me, but my question for you two is, would you rather take a client that was like paying half your rate or a huge discount, but they were like a delight to work with, or would you rather take on a client that was absolutely awful, but they were paying triple your rate?
I think the first one.
The first one. Yeah.
I kind of expected a different answer out of Allie. I think I'm thinking about it where this client would have to be somebody who's like a regular. And I can already, like, I've had times where I haven't had like a client that's awful to work with, but I've had ones that are like a little bit of like pulling teeth to keep conversation going. Like the hours just feel a little bit longer. And I'm thinking about the anxiety that brings me on a weekly basis. Yeah. And then if it was like on top of that, somebody that was just awful, I think I would not want to deal with that.
Fair.
I hear what you're saying about like, for me, it's like a one and done. I work with them once, and if I don't like working with them, I never have to work with them again. So it doesn't have to be a consistent thing. But I don't know, the effects of a bad client, and like especially someone who micromanages you, especially someone who just cannot be pleased no matter how much you bend over backwards for them or you try to work with them. I mean, it's like the effects of that can get in your head for months to come afterwards, and I don't know that I would want to like take that mental strife on, because I do think like that's such a big part about being a successful business owner is your mindset, and if there's something that I know is going to negatively impact it like that, then I think I would take the other version. And it's like, that's not foreign for me. I work for free. I do accept I do discounts for
right
people that come to me and they're like, I really want to work with you. I just love your work. And they seem like they would be a delight and stuff like that. Like I am willing to negotiate with people if I can tell they're like good people and they just can't swing it.
Wait, Allie, I'm going to sweeten the pot for you though. Okay, same question. same question, but the awful client is having the most amazing dream wedding. Like, you could not picture a better thing that you want to photograph.
Fine. You get me with the aesthetics.
Yeah, you knew that was going to get
I
Allie.
can pretty.
Like,
I can.
that's like not the money, but it's like the aesthetics. Can't say no to
Yeah,
that.
if it can stimulate me artistically, sure, I'll deal with anything.
Yeah, if it's your European dream wedding, but an awful client.
Yeah,
oh, that's
yeah.
a good one. You know,
that
maybe
is
we
a
should have been more
really good one.
specific with each other's businesses. Maybe that would have gotten a little bit
I
more.
know, yeah, that would have been,
Yeah.
because it is kind of hard to think.
Okay, we'll do another episode.
Wait, I have a bonus one. Which would you guys rather be like Alex, would you rather be an author or a photographer? Allie, would you rather be an author or a personal trainer?
Photographer.
Author.
Sorry.
I also would pick photographer.
I don't think I have the discipline
Nobody wants to be a
what
trainer.
Alex. No, it's not that I don't want to.
Although
It's
I
like,
wish that I had the stamina and like I could be as in shape as an Alex.
I could be like maybe a woo-woo wellness girly. Like I could do that. I don't have the discipline. Let's be honest, you guys.
I know.
I'm a
I don't think I
mess.
have
Like,
the discipline either.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment.
no, because Alex is like such a big part of Alex's brand. Is like she sets such a good example that's like inspiring and makes people want to like get into that lifestyle and do better things for themselves. And I'm just like, I just don't think I'm a good role model.
I know. I'd have to really change. Although I will say, like, if I had to pick which one I thought I could do, not that I think I could do either of your guys' jobs, but I just feel like with Alex's, it's like, okay, it would just be a matter of like training myself and showing up, and maybe I could get the self-discipline. But with Allie, it's like, I just don't think I'm ever going to have the eye. Like, I struggle. Like, I am like on my iPhone taking the worst fucking pictures I've ever seen in my life. So I just don't think I would ever be able to get there.
Yeah, I already kind of like writings. I feel, and it's
yeah,
like,
I think you're a good
going
writer.
and being a romance author, I think is not so far of a departure for me. It's still that space.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I
so
would
it's
rather
like,
not.
I think that one's kind of easy for me.
I already have, I think I've asked you this on either a podcast before or on something before, that like the anxiety of running out of ideas. Like,
No,
you said that's not a
ideas
problem.
is not the problem. It's the actual sitting down and writing 95,000 words that is the
Yeah.
problem.
Allison, question for you. I don't have the second part of this, so let me see if I can come up with it on the fly, but I really want to do this. Okay. Would you rather have one of your books be made into a movie, or I could go a couple different ways with this. I'm like, or
Okay.
a TV show? That's not good enough. I'm like, or Alex, help me out. I was like, I want there to be a good competing example that I want to do here, or like be on the New York Times bestseller list. Or I guess maybe those things would go hand in hand.
I think well, because a lot of people, like smaller authors, get Hallmark movies made all the time.
Yeah, great example.
So I honestly would pick probably New York Times bestseller over. It would be cool to have a Hallmark movie or something like that, but I think I would pick like just a more successful.
Well, what if it was
selling
like
book?
What if it was
obviously could result in a movie, but
like a theater movie, not a Hallmark movie? Does that make a difference?
I mean, that'd be really that would be really cool.
Oscar contender.
It would obviously. It's tough to think that wouldn't go hand in hand though. So it's hard to like.
I know. Yeah, usually New York Times bestsellers go on there, but you know what I mean.
But yeah, it would be really cool to have a movie or a show. I would pick a show over a movie though. Be fun.
Limited series or
limited series.
Yeah, no question. Limited series always.
Or like my first series, like Comfort Zone, Settle Up. Like I feel like that could be like a little like I could expand on that. It would be fun to write a script one day, but obviously, not anytime soon.
Oh. Check back in with us in like 5-10 years, see if Allison.
Because it's totally different, like writing to have to adapt to.
It's like yeah. I was like, I think you would have to. That's a really interesting thing to think about. Okay, wait, really quick. This is totally not related. Who would you guys want to play yourself in a movie or some sort of adaptation?
Do you have an answer for this, Allie? I have no idea.
I could probably, I always just trusted my ability to come up with something on the fly.
Come up with something. I have no idea.
Maybe we come back with this.
Yeah,
maybe we come back with this in the next episode.
Next episode, I want because I was like, I have to think about this a little bit, and it's not.
Yeah, me too.
I don't want you guys to think about like your
physically.
That's too obvious. I want you to think about somebody who you like the energy. Meryl Streep.
Yeah, for sure.
God, that one quote from Modern Family that I will literally never
where it's like, I don't think Meryl Streep was the right choice, and Cam's like, Meryl Streep is always the right choice.
She could be cast as Batman, and she would be the right choice.
Yeah, she's the right choice.
Anyways, yeah,
Well,
we'll
this was
circle
fun.
back on the next episode to see who we would choose to cast ourselves in a movie or some sort of book.
Oh, shoot, I'm going to miss that one.
Save
Fuck.
it for you.
No, we're saving
Well, yeah, I
that.
can't-
Yeah, that's coming back.
Okay. I was going to say, I can't record next week, but
No, Allie and I will think of something for next week. But
Yeah.
all right.
Good.
Well,
This was
thanks
fun.
everybody for listening or watching if you're on YouTube. Rate, review, subscribe, all of the different things that you can do on all of the different platforms. We appreciate you listening and we hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week.
bye. Nobody.
I hope my record